Hello, NBA fans. Every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I ask for your help by subscribing to the channel and giving me your thumbs up. Players Dalton Knecht and Jackson Hayes are expected to see some minutes in the Lakers' rotation, and for this reason, they could be traded for a more dynamic wing, Ochai Agbaji of the Toronto Raptors. And the Lakers would also open up a roster spot, already preparing to sign a star player in February 2026. The Lakers could look to make some improvements to their roster as they aspire to become a title contender. To facilitate this, we propose a trade idea to help the Lakers acquire Ochai Agbaji from the Raptors. The Los Angeles Lakers' offseason roster moves have resulted in significant improvements to their overall rotation. Having made some key signings to address their primary concerns, the Lakers have the potential to be a far more competitive team next season. Although the purple and gold boast a solid rotation, with some even claiming that they are capable of contending for the title, there are some doubts concerning the actual depth of the team. With the wings and the front court being a point of contention, the Lakers could look to make improvements later on in the season. However, they may benefit from making some roster upgrades now. Warner Brothers working on Kobe Bryant NBA Draft movie. Warner Brothers working on Kobe Bryant NBA Draft movie. In a trade idea with the Toronto Raptors, we explore how Los Angeles could acquire 25-year-old guard Ochai Agbaji. Let's take a look at the proposal. Los Angeles Lakers receive Ochai Agbaji. Toronto Raptors receive Dalton Knecht, Jackson Hayes. Given Hayes' recent contract signing, this trade would only become permissible in the second week of October. Given the assets being moved, both teams could stand to benefit from this deal. Targeting Agbaji could be in the Lakers' best interests. Given the team's outlook on Dalton Knecht, the young guard has been mentioned in several trade rumors this offseason. On this note, acquiring an experienced replacement could add stability. Agbaji's career trajectory has been intriguing. In his rookie season with the Utah Jazz, the guard alternated between being a bench player and a key rotation player. While playing 20.5 minutes a game, he posted an average of 7.9 points and 2.1 rebounds per game. Early in his sophomore year, he was traded to the Toronto Raptors, where he seemingly regressed, raising concerns about his development. But these doubts were put to rest in his first complete season with the team. While carving out a place for himself as a solid rotational piece for the team, Agbaji became a reliable boost off the bench in the 2024-25 season. As he offered solid two-way flexibility, the Raptors guard notched an average of 10.4 points, 3.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, and 0.9 steals per game, while shooting 49.8% from the field and 39.9% from the three-point line. Agbaji's greatest assets are his versatility and his athleticism. As an elite athlete, he blends his leaping ability and agility with constantly improving shooting and dribbling skills. While he isn't an outright scoring threat in isolation situations, he has showcased the potential to develop this aspect of his game. Additionally, the Raptors guard also has impressive physical tools. His wide wingspan complements his agility. Along with his capability as a perimeter shooter, he projects himself to be a solid wing presence. These traits could be considered valuable for the Lakers, who aim to improve their wing depth this offseason. Additionally, with only 1 year left on his contract, the purple and gold would view this deal favorably as it allows them to keep cap space free for next summer. Overall, the purple and gold can benefit a lot from this deal. Meanwhile, the Raptors also stand to gain something meaningful. When considering their roster's makeup, the addition of Dalton Knecht and Jackson Hayes could be viewed positively. In his rookie season, Knecht showed scoring upside. While demonstrating his abilities as a three-point shooter, the 24-year-old also showcased his versatility as an offensive player, featuring a promising skill set in the mid-range and while slashing to the basket. Last season, Knecht posted an average of 9.1 points and 2.8 rebounds per game, on shooting splits of 46.1% from the field, 36.7% from three-point territory, and 76.2% from the free throw line. The Raptors currently have Grady Dick, who fulfills a similar role as Connect. But with the Lakers guard on their team, Toronto would add a lot more depth to their backcourt, allowing them to experiment more with their rotations. In this regard, Toronto may be more interested in Hayes' acquisition. Since parting ways with Chris Boucher, the Raptors' big man rotation has been marginally weakened. To address, acquiring the Lakers center could be quite beneficial. Last season, Hayes had to embrace the role of being a starter with the Lakers. By utilizing his athleticism, he was a consistent lob threat and a reliable passing option in the dunker spot. For the 2024-25 campaign, he put up an average of 6.8 points and 4.8 rebounds per game, while shooting 72.2% from the field. Hayes could be effective in the second unit, coming in behind Jakob Poeltl. Given that he's also been improving his three-point shot, the Raptors could also use him in a similar capacity to Boucher as a floor-spacing big man. What do the Lakers need to improve? As constructed, the Lakers are solid. With decent depth in each position, the purple and gold have a balanced roster. But when considering the improvements some of the other teams have made, the Lakers could also come up short in some ways. At the current juncture, there is no way to tell what the team needs. While there is a lot of potential to contend for the title, it eventually comes down to execution. Hence, it seems more likely that the Lakers will only make adjustments later on, potentially after gauging the team's performance at training camp. Questions about Lakers' depth still linger. Getty Images. As the Los Angeles Lakers head into the 2025-2026 season, questions linger about their overall roster fit, not to mention depth. With Luka Doncic having signed a 3-year extension worth $165 million, he's in place for the immediate future, allowing the Lakers to build a roster around him, by targeting players that fit his particular skill set. Of course, LeBron James and Austin Reeves are still there, and both fill out the roles of the number 2 and number 3 guy fairly well, from a talent perspective at least. James, whose future in Los Angeles remains murky due to his contractual situation, he's currently projected to be an unrestricted free agent next summer, turns 41 in December, making a long-term fit with Doncic all the more unlikely. Then there's Reeves, who's earning just a hair under $14 million this season, meaning the Lakers cannot reasonably expect to extend him, due to the league's 140% extension limit. He, too, is projected to be an unrestricted free agent next summer. That said, at least the trio is locked in this season, meaning there's a bit of pressure on the Lakers to make the most of it this year, before major decisions are to be made. The Lakers signed DeAndre Ayton this summer, after he got bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers, making a substantial addition, particularly at center. If you squint, you may even see the arguments of the Lakers having potentially a fourth star, pending fit, effort, and health. After that, though, there does seem to be a drop-off. Rui Hachimura, the team's other starting forward, is likely overtaxed in such a role, even if he's become an efficient scorer, 13.1 points, 61.9 TS%, and the team is spending over $34 million on Jared Vanderbilt, Maxi Kleber, and Gabe Vincent, all of whom come with either major shortcomings or unknown production. That means Dalton Knecht, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart will have to carry major responsibilities this season. Knecht is a second-year player who was initially traded at last season's trade deadline for Mark Williams, before the trade was rescinded. Is he as motivated to stick around? LaRavia is a solid young forward prospect, but he's played 136 career games, and has only barely cracked 2,500 minutes. Is he ready to give the Lakers 20-plus effective minutes every night? And, finally, Smart. The former Defensive Player of the Year is a high-impact guy when healthy, but he hasn't been for the past 2 years, having played a grand total of 54 games during that time. All of this isn't to say the Lakers won't be good, but there are legitimate issues, both for the now and later on. Lakers' path forward demands a calculated Rob Pelinka strategy. The Los Angeles Lakers will be staying put with what they have until opportunity strikes. The Los Angeles Lakers have been quiet, eerily quiet. Does that mean Rob Pelinka is brewing another seismic event in Hollywood? This time around, the answer is probably not. Kyler Kelly was just signed by the Lakers to a training camp deal. Pelinka and company have not been completely inactive. However, for the most part, the franchise appears to be settled with the roster they intend to bring into the start of the 2025-26 NBA season. In all fairness, the Lakers have done a sufficient amount of movement to be comfortable with where they stand ahead of training camp. DeAndre Ayton was brought in as the new starting center. Marcus Smart was a strong defensive addition. Jake LaRavia could prove to be the steal of the offseason. Now, it is all about patience. Making moves in the offseason is always expensive, to some degree. For the Lakers, who have limited avenues to improving what they have, finding the right moment to strike during the 2025-26 season could be the difference between contending and pretending. Rob Pelinka's next move could define Lakers' championship window. This upcoming campaign could be the last opportunity the Lakers have to win with a duo of Luka Doncic and LeBron James. While continuing to have Doncic in the mix will provide more opportunity overall, there are only so many times a team will possess the most unfair superstar advantage in the NBA. For Pelinka, that means the upside will be almost as large as the pressure. This is especially true considering what the Lakers have to work with. Dan Woik recently reminded everyone how limited the asset pool is for the Lakers. 2 tradable draft picks, 1 first, 1 second, and some low-value swaps is what they are working with. It was the reason the beat writer thought another major move before the season should not be counted upon. Woik wrote, "I believe it's way more likely that the Lakers would rather look at the roster that they've built, assess the strengths and weaknesses and try to improve during the season than use any of their limited draft arsenal to get a deal done now. When those assessments are done, there is a growing expectation the Lakers will be active." ESPN's group of NBA insiders voted the Lakers as the second most likely team to make a big move before the trade deadline. They only trailed the Golden State Warriors in that category. Lakers fans hoping this is not the final team that heads into the 2026 NBA playoffs should find comfort in that. However, patience will be key as Pelinka needs to be afforded the wiggle room to make the right move, not just a serviceable one. Latest LeBron James trade guess only makes sense on the surface. ESPN thinks LeBron James could request a trade away from the Los Angeles Lakers, but it doesn't make too much sense. ESPN recently polled its insiders to discuss which NBA star is most likely to request a trade next, and Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James ranked third on the list. Of the 25 insiders who were polled, James received 6 votes, placing him behind only Zion Williamson and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Earlier this summer, James and his agent, Rich Paul, put out a statement regarding the star's future with the Lakers. It read as a bit of foreshadowing that James could want out if the Lakers don't do everything in their power to push for a championship while he's in town. If the Lakers wanted to prioritize the future around Luka Doncic, perhaps it would make sense for James to want out. But would he actually request a trade out of LA? Would LeBron James request a trade from Lakers? It feels very unlikely that James would actually pull the trigger and request a trade away from the Lakers. He spent too much time and planted too many roots in LA at this point. By this time next season, James will have spent more time with the Lakers than he did with the Cleveland Cavaliers the first time around. Plus, at this point in his career and with how much money he makes, it would be very difficult to actually facilitate a trade. It has been radio silent since James, via his agent Rich Paul, attempted to rattle the Lakers' cages immediately after exercising his $52.6 million player option for this season, wrote ESPN's Tim McMahon. The all-time leading scorer and his camp understand just how complicated a trade involving him at his age, making that much money, with the contractual right to veto any deal would be. The Lakers made a huge splash last season, swapping out Anthony Davis for Doncic and setting themselves up for the future. Trading James would be, almost, just as crazy,